Harry. The discussion of biotic and abiotic factors is a continuation of development of student knowledge and understanding in ecology. On a side point, this is one of those teachable moments where you get to integrate a little literacy. Science is full of Latin and Greek roots, so it's important for students to learn these and for you to point them out when they appear. So for example, biotic contains the prefix bio, which means life or living. So these are the living things which affect the survival of an organism, while the prefix a turns the word into its negative. So an abiotic factor would refer to the non-living things in the environment which affect the survival of the organism. I'll leave it to Paul Bozeman to define these two terms. Helping students understand the deep connections between the biotic and abiotic world is becoming more important in science. We need students who can think beyond the black and white mentality of the past and can see patterns, identify issues, and create solutions with bigger pictures in mind. The changes that are taking place in ecosystems that affect all life on the planet need students who understand this deep interconnection and its importance. In Foundation, students were introduced to the concept that living things have needs. The particular topic is picked up in Year 6 with the content descriptor, the growth and survival of living things is affected by the physical conditions of their environment. This content descriptor has particular focus on the abiotic factors, which we'll define in a moment. The concept then reaches maturation in Year 9 with the content descriptor, ecosystems consist of communities of interdependent organisms and abiotic components of the environment. I'm hoping you'll begin to see the constructivist nature of the curriculum. So the objective while you're watching this clip is to define and give examples of biotic and abiotic factors. So think back to the topic of living things have needs, and then think about the ecological services provided by a tree. It provides food for some organisms and shelter for others. Over time, plant communities even change their local environment, eventually making it more suitable for other plant communities. Look at ecological succession at some stage. Australia's first peoples recognised this and managed the land to ensure all living things had their needs met. They made sure all living things on their land had places to find foods they preferred, places they preferred to shelter, and actively kept ecosystems in balance for everyone's and everything's benefit. Now, a lot of the websites you'll find on this topic do a really good job at discussing abiotic factors, but a not so good job giving examples of biotic factors. Many websites will list living things as biotic factors, and they're right to an extent. So for example, if you consider grass, many websites would give sheep and cattle as biotic factors, and other plants as another. But what they really mean to say is that herbivory is the biotic factor, and this is done by sheep and cattle. Or that competition is the biotic factor, as the grass competes with other grasses and plants for space, light, water, etc. Other examples of biotic factors that I encourage you to look up and create a concept map for are predation and herbivory, symbiosis, now there's two types, obligate and facultative. There's mutualism, commensalism, amensalism and parasitism. And also look up endo and ectosymbiotes. Did you know that the leading theory to explain mitochondria and chloroplasts posits that once upon a time they were free living organisms? Have older students research the local ecosystems, so the Gold Coast has many, and find out and collect in-field data and human impacts on one. Photos of erosion or rehabilitation, graphs of water quality, surveys of flora and fauna, transects of impacted areas. Have them present their findings to the local member with a list of recommendations. Extension students can even evaluate the economic feasibility of each recommendation. Thank you.